What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a special edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Holy cow, Friday was an absolute smash. Absolute smash. Didn't end up on either individual teams. Didn't have a play on the Astros game. One of the best baseball games you'll ever see in your entire life. Too bad Jose Altuve is like the protagonist for it, or antagonist, depending on who you cheer for. And I guess all of us are cheering not for the Astros, unless you're from Houston, in which case I have other questions. But anyway, that was a phenomenal baseball game, followed by another phenomenal baseball game, Arizona and Philadelphia. So you know what? Producer Jacob, I hit him up. He was gracious enough to give us his time. We are going to record here for this Game 5 Philadelphia-Arizona game, mainly because the lines dropped, and I had interest in things, and I need to let the people know here on the Odd Shopper channel, because again, I'm in the business of making you money, and in that spirit, if you're in these 6 states, you can sign up for Bet365, Bet5, get 150 in bet credits right now. Yeah, it's as simple as this. If you're in one of these 6 states, being Ohio, New Jersey, Kentucky, Virginia, Iowa, or Colorado, you have the opportunity to bet just $5 at the link below and get 150 in bet credits. Sounds pretty good, huh? Yeah, it's only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But hey, we're putting in that late work, Devin. Don't give up. I love that commercial. Anybody else? DJ Khaled. I also love the fact that we hit like almost 4 units tonight. Adolis Garcia ended up on the half unit bomb there. If you're not following me at Eric Lindquist, you're leaving money on the table, doing Lindy's Locks update, giving you my betting card throughout these entire MLB playoffs. I don't know. What more do you want from me? What do you want from me? Actually, you know what would have been nice is if we had just swept the board and hit every single bet. You know what? Sometimes that doesn't happen, but for the most part, phenomenal night yet again here, up over 13 units now for the MLB playoffs, keeping track over on X as well. A lot of people asking for bet tracking. You know if I've been profitable or not. You've been tuning in for a while at this point in time. The regular season was fantastic. Yeah, there are stretches that you're going to run into that are poor all the time, but anyway, I'm just talking here at the top of this to fill time, and I'm good at this. So producer Jacob, hey, he's good at what he does too. Best in the business. I'm okay. I'm top 10, maybe. Oh, no. All I know is I have a lean, a like, and a lock here for this game. This Game 5 is going to be off the rails. Thinking I might have to go to it tomorrow. We'll see. I want to be betting, and I want to be ready to rock for Sunday for the NFL as well. These are important things. But producer Jacob, without further ado, a lean, a like, a lock coming your way. Let's get to the picks. For one game, you wouldn't think we have a lot to talk about, but we have a ton to talk about here on this program, trying to set you up for success for Saturday. And hey, it's that whole adage of like, you teach somebody to fish, they eat for a lifetime. You fish for somebody, they eat for a day, kind of a thing. We want to teach you to fish for a lifetime. That's what I want. I want to teach you what we can learn from what happened on Friday, how it can help us apply to Saturday. And again, Saturday's a one-game sample size, There are things that can go wrong, but for the most part, you want to get your money in good every single opportunity you can. And this is one of those spots. The Philadelphia Phillies, now losing 2 straight, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I find it pretty ironic that the road team has won every single game of the Houston-Texas series. And then you have the Phillies-Arizona series where the home team has won every single game. Ooh, riddle me that, Batman. It actually means very little because, again, when you're talking about small sample sizes, things are going to shift. And when you're talking about minus 135, plus 114, you're talking about a hit there, an error there, a play there. Something like that can shift the entire complexion of a baseball game on its head. But over a long term, when you can recognize value, when you can get your money in good over the course of 365 days in multiple sports like I try to give you, I have UFC 294 stuff posted at Odd Shopper too. So, hey, late night crew, let's go. Trevor Peak. That fight is not going to go over 1.5 rounds. If it does, well, that would suck. But anyway, we're going to talk baseball here because that's what we're here to do. And producer Jacob wants to go to bed, as do I. Zach Wheeler, Zach Gallen. We're talking about my 2 Zachs in my life. I care about them more than I care about Zach Morris. I loved Zach Morris growing up. Saved by the Bell. When you wake up in the morning. I love the Zacharias that are on the mound in this baseball game. So let's at least cover a little bit of why. And then I want to break down some of the things that I noticed from Friday, specifically how they utilized bullpen games, because they were true to a T bullpen games. And I think one team benefits a little bit more, but not enough for me to want to pull the trigger on that bet. So let's go through Zach Wheeler here to start, because I do want to target Zach Allen to a certain extent. But Zach Wheeler, 278 xWOBA, 349 expected slugging, 5.1% barrel percentage. And over the course of these playoffs, he has been lights out. He has been the go-to guy here for the Phillies, has had no problems whatsoever just shutting down the opposition. Only 2 earned that he gave up in Arizona, or against Arizona there at home in that 5-3 win. Then he faced Atlanta. Well, before that, he faced Atlanta, only 2 earned there. Against Miami, just 1 earned. So he hasn't been completely unblemished, but he is getting so much damn swing and miss because everything is falling off the map for him right now. Again, 1 earned against Miami, 2 against Atlanta, 2 against Arizona, 8, 10, and 8 strikeouts, though. 26 postseason strikeouts, averaging nearly 9 per outing here. The key part, though, he's been giving length to this Philadelphia team. We're talking 6 in every single one of those. A quality start in every single one. 6 2/3, 6 1/3, 6 outs. And as I was working through his pitch mix, as I was updating what he's been doing, it seems like his sinker, slider, curve combination have been so much better here in the postseason, even than they were during the regular season. But I got to throw a little bit of an asterisk out here. I know there's been some funky roof situations because what Arizona had on their website last night posted was that the roof was going to be open here for Game 4. That did not end up being what the MLB came in and said they were going to do, and they ended up closing the roof, which was a little bit frustrating, but I ended up rolling with it mainly because I went through some of the Arizona bullpen pieces, and I thought that the Phillies were going to get after them a little bit. Alec Thomas is the hero of the people for the 2-run home run to hit that over for us. 9.5. You could cash that across the board. Glad we made that a late lock over at Eric Lindquist. Again, that's where you want to be following me. That is where I'm going to give you updated information before first pitch tomorrow. I believe it is 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Be on the lookout about an hour, 2 hours before first pitch. I've been posting every single game of these MLB playoffs. But Zach Wheeler, as good as he's been, Zach Gallen, I think, has been getting a little bit lucky, and this is difficult for me to admit because this is one of my guys. 3.58 ERA, 1.15 whip. We've backed him multiple times, up over 11 units on him over the course of this season alone. That's a pretty large allotment when I'm using half units for likes, full units for locks. The guy has been one of our cash cows. In fact, my 4th most profitable pitcher over the course of this season, just from backing him when he's on the mound. That's an outrageous number to be getting. Obviously, Arizona was dogs at the beginning of the season, and we backed Zach Gallen against the Dodgers. We backed Zach Gallen against the Padres. Got some ridiculous numbers at those points in time, but now you're running into a pretty good number with him at home as a plus money dog. So why am I not betting him? Again, the roof is expected and listed on the Arizona Diamondbacks website as open. This drastically changes the complexion of what I view this baseball game will be going for. Now, do the Arizona Diamondbacks push to try to keep this roof closed? I would if I were them. Said that last night. Why wouldn't you? It was a gift that they were able to do that in Game 4. You can go bullpens. You can play platoon. They still got Kyle Schwarber going completely nuts for the Philly side, so that was a bummer for them. Great for us because we had the home run prop, but gotta say, the 46.2% hard hit percentage and 9.2% barrel percentage here on the season for Zach Gallen is very, very worrisome when you look at the lefties at the top of this lineup. Now, Bryce Harper, I'm not one for hot streaks, but he has not looked great at the plate here since walking and stepping foot here in Arizona. You have Arizona, which is, I believe, a park that pitchers enjoy pitching at because the confines of these dugouts are much closer to the home plate. Something that I know that Greg Maddux has talked about on the broadcast multiple times throughout the course of this season. Brought it up again for a hot second if you were listening on that telecast tonight. But the main thing for me is as you look at Zach Gallen's numbers, he's going to get swing and miss. 26% K rate, 5.6% walk rate. He does a lot of really good things, but he gives up a little bit too much hard contact where if that roof's open and we're looking at a park factor that goes up about 12, 15% in terms of home run probabilities, not individual probabilities, but on the aggregate, on home runs in general, I'm going to have a tough time wanting to go out of my way to back Zach Gallen in any kind of an extreme way. Now, I want to put a big asterisk on that. I think individual hitters are going to stand out. And that's where I want to have a lean on Kyle Schwarber right from the get-go. We've seen him at plus 360, plus 320. Again, now dropping into the mid plus 200s in some spots when he's back at home, going completely nuts. And then, well, it buoyed back to a spot where I just couldn't believe that we were getting the kind of value that we were able to get on Kyle Schwarber here in this spot. Plus 360? That was a ridiculous number. And I understood that he was facing a lefty to start off, but there were only two lefties that could really come out and affect Kyle Schwarber. They tried to utilize him, and, well, Joe Manapleat got through the first inning. Cash your nerfies if you went that direction. But Kyle Schwarber, he cannot possibly not be on your radar here right now. 51 home runs now on the season, including the regular season. 50 singles. Insane. The equity you get backing a Kyle Schwarber in terms of power statistics, in terms of just raw data, than you do any other player in baseball. So Kyle Schwarber, been somebody who's been a staple of our betting card, kind of like Adolis Garcia, my absolute GOAT. But glad he was able to cash for us. I want him on your radar, but he's not on the betting card here as of yet. I want some confirmation on this roof and on this number. So I will get back to you. I will update that at Eric Lindquist. But let's get to the bets, because this is what you're here for. I'm sure you're going to fast forward, and that is just fine by me, because, again, this is an emergency stream. This is an emergency recording. Need to give you the information, and this is why. There are two bets that I need on your card for tomorrow. The first one might have a little bit more juice attached to it than most of you are ready for. We're talking minus 145 at Caesars Sportsbook is the number, but it's a little bit wider than some bets I have in the UFC. Again, the Trevor Peek fight, minus 130. And in my brain, logically, I'm thinking about how I can go about recommending this. I think this can be a great attachment to a Zach Gallen solid outing. And here's why. Arizona plus 1.5 is a little bit of a broken number. Not so much that I want to go out of my way to jam it, but plus 145, I expect this to be minus 155 and up at every single book come first pitch tomorrow, because the Phillies had to utilize their main guys. You had Jose Alvarado. Kimbrel came out and just pitched like a dunce cap. You had Okering, Soto, Dominguez, Strom, Hoffman, and Sanchez, who started off that game. They utilized everybody, but you go back to game 3, and Arizona was able to kind of keep things tight to the vest. And Penny Sewald is just pitching on another planet right now, yet to give up an earned run here as a closer. I know I was a little bit firm about Arizona. Hey, what are they doing? What are they playing for here in this spot? Getting rid of a great lefty like they had. Well, fooled me a little bit, because Paul Sewald's been that guy. Again, I called him Penny. I don't know why. That's a weird thing to say. Penny Sewald, he literally is an offensive lineman or a defensive tackle in football. We're going to double check my work here. Where is he right now? There's Penny Sewell. There we are. Detroit Lions. Good stuff. Glad that I could just double check in my brain here. But now to the important stuff. Arizona plus 1.5. That is where I want you, because I think Zach Gallen complements what I want to get to in the lock portion of the program here. But Arizona plus 1.5. Saw this number. Put a very small half unit play on it. Maybe it increases. Maybe Philly, just like they have the last two games, take more of the money and move this line. Now, it might be the opposite here, considering Arizona and the public really likes what have you done for me lately. Arizona winning back-to-back home outings here. Great stuff that we're seeing from them. But the main thing, Philadelphia. Jose Alvarado now used back-to-back. Got Craig Kimbrel back-to-back. Lots of interesting pieces here. Lose a close one. Then you go into this one, which was a hard-fought baseball game, pure bullpen game. Don't think they want a lot of these guys pitching 3 days in a row. So advantage Arizona in terms of the bullpen. That's good stuff. But Bet 365 is also good stuff. Producer Jacob, let's fire it up. Look at this beautiful man on the screen. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. He's excited. Yay, playoff baseball. Working into the weekend. Whee! Stuff like that. I don't know. But hey, if you're in one of these 6 states, it's great stuff. I'm telling you right now. Virginia, great stuff. Kentucky, great stuff. New Jersey, great stuff. Ohio, great stuff. Colorado, great stuff. Iowa, okay stuff. I was there for a long time, went to college there. But 6 states where you have access to Bet 365. If you go to the video description box below right now and click on that link, you can sign up and deposit just $5. Bet $5 on anything and get $150 in bonus bets right this second. It's as simple as that. It's only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in the state of Kentucky. Go Wildcats. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get to the lock, shall we? Super easy stuff. I'm telling you. Arizona plus 1.5. It correlates so nicely here because, again, I said advantage Arizona. The roof is expected to be open even though it got closed out of the middle of nowhere. Again, be paying attention to it. But I'm putting this together regardless of the roof because 8 is a number that generally you don't love when you're talking unders. 7, 9, 11, those are your key numbers. 8, 10, 12, those are going to be your key numbers when we're talking overs. Why? Well, if it's a competitive baseball game and both teams have implied run totals that are right around 4, a tie baseball game where they play up to expectation results in a push there, but not in your betting card because you're guaranteed to go to extra innings and then 9-4, you're dead. So it is something that doesn't grade out as nicely from that perspective. But do you remember what we got on this game for game 1? I'm curious if anybody remembers. You don't? It's okay. It was a 7. It was a 7 total in Philly. Now, completely different circumstances. You're going out east. It's not as good of a ballpark if we're going to have the roof open, and you're looking at playoff circumstances. Again, Philadelphia, East Coast, October, no humidity, cooler weather, lots of things going against it there where I understand the run differential, but I don't think Zach Gallen had his best stuff there, and I don't think I should be worried about any kind of a velocity downtick. He gave up 8 hits, 5 earned in that outing. We attacked him early in that baseball game. Again, been pretty locked in on this series in general, other than Philly losing a close one there in game 3. I think this is the spot that you just jammed the under. I think both these starters give a lot of length. I think they're going to be asked to add a lot of length because of these bullpens that we just had fired up here in game 4. I was looking through it, and as I started running things, if Zach Gallen is back to expectation, when we're talking about him being a home dog, like a dude who goes in at home and is a dog, check this out. 2.47 ERA at home this season, 1.03 whip. On the road, 4.49 ERA, 1.25 whip. Sure, he was facing the Dodgers. Sure, he was facing Colorado, but we're talking about a nearly 2 ERA difference, and once I uploaded his home splits, and I fired it up, I had this as at a 6.7 implied run total. I thought about 1.5 units when we're talking about a 1.3 gap in that kind of, that's a chasm when you're talking about totals. But because of the key number nature of it, I'm keeping it as a unit. And you parlay people, enjoy Arizona plus 1.5 under 8 because I think Zach Wheeler, no matter what, is coming out and pitching a solid game. The guy does not have those kind of splits the way that Zach Gallen does. The guy has no problem when it comes to postseason baseball over the course of the last 2 seasons, or regular season baseball for that matter. 3.50 ERA, 1.40 whip. And then on the road, he's been better this year. 3.14 ERA, up to a 1.02 whip. At home, 3.88 ERA, 1.06 whip. And we're talking about 18 and 17 game sample sizes respectively for each of those. I am so fucking locked in on this freaking under. It's unbelievable. Let's go. Let's go. Deal with it. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays here for Saturday's Extraordinaire. Hey, this is the second MLB Lindy's that we've had on a Saturday all season long. Hope you loved it. If you did, smash that like button for me. And if not for me, producer Jacob, who is literally burning the midnight oil in order to help you guys get this program on track. But again, we are keeping track, up over 13 units now during the course of these MLB playoffs. Love seeing all the betting tickets over on X/Twitter at Eric Lindquist. That's where you can find me. That's where I'm going to be posting my update. It will be video form, or it will simply be my betting card, trying to give you guys the best information I possibly can, updating it regarding the roof, regarding anything we might hear from the managers, regarding what to expect from some of their bullpen arms. But hey, playoff baseball, been profitable. Let's keep it going, friends. Check out Bet365 if you're so inclined in one of those 6 states that I talked about earlier. Bet5, get 150 if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please, please, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Until, well, maybe we do one leading into Sunday. Until whenever that is, my friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Saturday for Game 5 of the NLCS.